Can Japan survive without U.S. trade support? For over 7 decades, Japan and the United States have stood as two pillars of global economic cooperation. One as a technological powerhouse, the other as the world's dominant consumer and financial leader. But as global trade realigns and protectionist policies rise, a crucial question emerges. Can Japan truly survive without U.S. trade support? A partnership built on trade and trust. Since the aftermath of World War II, Japan's economic miracle has been deeply tied to the United States. American markets absorbed Japanese exports, from automobiles to semiconductors, while U.S. investments and defense protection ensured political and economic stability. Today, the U.S. remains Japan's largest export destination, purchasing everything from cars and electronics to machine tools. In 2024, bilateral trade between the two nations surpassed $230 billion, underscoring how interdependent their economies remain. Yet the world is changing. Washington's trade focus has shifted toward reindustrialization and self-reliance, while Tokyo is seeking new partners in Asia and Europe to diversify risk. Shifting trade winds, the global realignment. The rise of protectionist sentiment in the U.S., marked by tariffs, America First policies, and domestic manufacturing incentives, has forced Japan to rethink its position. Recent American tariff threats on Asian imports and subsidies for local industries have sparked quiet concern in Tokyo. If the U.S. walls itself off, Japan's export-led model could face its toughest test yet. At the same time, Japan has begun deepening ties with ASEAN nations, India and the European Union, participating actively in multilateral trade deals like the CPTPP, Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, and RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. These moves signal a clear message. Japan is preparing for a world where U.S. trade support might no longer be guaranteed. The strengths Japan still holds. Despite its reliance on the U.S., Japan is far from fragile. It remains the world's third-largest economy, a leader in technology and innovation, and a country with unmatched expertise in robotics, automobiles, and precision manufacturing. Japanese corporations like Toyota, Sony, and Mitsubishi have successfully built global networks that operate independently of American demand. Moreover, Japan's financial strength, with over $1.3 trillion in foreign reserves, provides significant economic cushioning. However, the country faces internal challenges: an aging population, shrinking workforce, and sluggish domestic consumption. Without external demand, particularly from the U.S., maintaining long-term growth could prove difficult. Can Japan go it alone? The short answer, not entirely, at least not yet. Japan can diversify, innovate, and expand new trade alliances, but the U.S. remains too vital, not just as a buyer, but as a strategic ally that underpins regional stability in the Indo-Pacific. Still, Tokyo's gradual shift toward self-reliance and multi-directional trade diplomacy shows clear foresight. It's no longer about dependence, but about balance, ensuring Japan never again becomes economically cornered by a single partner. Conclusion: the future of a strategic alliance. Japan's survival doesn't depend on cutting ties with the U.S., but on transforming the relationship, from dependence to partnership, from export reliance to innovation-driven growth. The next decade will test whether Japan can sustain its prosperity amid global uncertainty, geopolitical rivalry, and economic nationalism. But one thing is certain: Japan's resilience, built through decades of discipline, technology, and strategy, ensures that even without U.S. support, it will not merely survive, it will adapt.